Stop lying to yourself. Looks don't keep a man. True attraction doesn't come from your face, your body, or the degrees you hang on your wall. It comes from how you make him feel. Deep, shaken, and utterly unable to resist. Women today have everything at their fingertips, except one thing: the ability to awaken a man's emotions. And if you can't do that, no matter how beautiful you are, you're just another passing scene in his life. This video isn't for women who crave soft, comforting lies. It's for women who want to take control, who want to master the simple yet razor-sharp questions that carve themselves deep into a man's mind without having to fake anything. If you truly want to know the 6 questions that can completely change how a man sees you, how he thinks about you, keep watching. Don't look away. Because if you miss even one moment, you might miss the chance to change your entire life. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe and like if you're new here. It helps me keep bringing you more valuable content. Here's the truth. Your looks only pull a man close, but it's the emotions you stir inside him that bind his mind to you. No one taught you that at school. No one reminded you while you were busy putting on makeup every day. And so you kept fooling yourself into thinking that being pretty was enough. But no one falls in love with a painting. They fall in love with how that painting makes them feel. If you still believe that being kind is enough and someone will show up, look around. Thousands of sweet, kind women are quietly forgotten every single day. Meanwhile, women who know how to trigger emotions are the ones who are desired, pursued, and protected. Taking the lead isn't about throwing yourself at a man or begging for attention. Taking the lead means owning the game. A single look, a perfectly timed question, can be 100 times more powerful than a designer dress. When you know how to hit a man's emotional core, you stop being just another woman. You become the one he can't stop thinking about, the one he's desperate to hold on to. Modern women have no choice but to master the art of igniting emotions in a relationship. If you sit around waiting for destiny, you'll die old, clinging to excuses like, there are no good men left. The truth is, men are everywhere. You're just not strong enough yet to make them choose you. If you want a real relationship, light the damn fire yourself. Don't sit there waiting for someone else to bring you the spark. You can start with something simple. Learn to ask the right questions. Questions that open emotional gateways, not ones that showcase empty surfaces. A woman who knows how to ask is a woman who knows how to own. From here on, you either wake up or you keep rocking yourself to sleep with beautiful but meaningless lies. Question 1. What is it about a woman that makes you remember her forever? This isn't small talk. This is a bullet fired straight into the deepest part of a man's mind, the place where unforgettable memories are stored. When you ask this question, you force him to dig into himself, to search for a feeling that once made him tremble, obsess, or fall madly in love. And the moment he answers, you hold the key in your hands. Why does this question work? Because it doesn't just make him talk about surface preferences like she's pretty or she's funny. It forces him to recall an experience, a moment, something that actually touched his emotions. People don't remember the most beautiful or the kindest. They remember the ones who made them feel the most. When he shares his story, you need to listen with complete focus. Don't interrupt. Don't rush to comment. Let him dive into that river of emotions. The more he remembers, the more he speaks, the more he feels, the easier it is for him to unconsciously link those emotions to the woman sitting right in front of him. You. This is the principle of emotional anchoring. Whatever appears beside strong emotions becomes bonded to them. After you ask, it's crucial to keep the conversation warm and judgment-free. Whether he talks about a foolish first love or something as simple as a smile, honor it. The way you respond with sensitivity will define your place in his mind, not as someone who judges, but as someone who truly understands. Don't worry if his answer doesn't seem to relate to you. You don't have to be like the women he loved before. You just have to be the woman who makes him feel what he's been aching for, through your presence, your gaze, your words that trigger the right memories. An attractive woman isn't the most beautiful in the crowd. She's the one who makes a man think, if I lose her, I'll never forget. Question 2. If you could go anywhere right now, who would you take with you? Men always say they're strong, that they can weather any storm alone. But deep down, no one wants to be alone forever. Inside every man is a quiet emptiness, a journey, an adventure, a road he doesn't want to walk alone. This question goes straight to that space. When you ask, who would you take with you, you force him to imagine. And in that imagination, he has to confront something most men don't want to admit. He needs someone. Very few women can do this. Most only try to impress with looks or meaningless chatter. But with one simple question, you've slipped into his mind, touching the most vulnerable part of him, without ever making him feel weak. How he answers tells you everything. If he picks a family member, he values security. If he picks a friend, he values fun. If he falls silent, don't panic. That silence is a man asking himself, is the person I want sitting right in front of me? Don't push. Don't try to steer him toward the answer you want. Ask the question and let silence do the heavy lifting. Let him realize on his own that the most beautiful journey isn't about the destination. It's about the person beside him. The strongest emotions aren't created by constant talking. They are born in moments that make people stop, think, and start to imagine. If you're sharp enough, you'll see it. The way his eyes change, the way his gaze softens and deepens, as if he's just seen something he didn't even know he was looking for. That's when you don't need to try to be anyone else. Just sit there, calm and steady, because at that moment, in his mind, you've already joined him on his journey without ever needing permission. If this video made you think, hit like now. Comment below. How have you applied Stoicism in your life? Stoic success, unbreakable mindset, total control. Question 3. What kind of person makes you feel the safest? No man, no matter how strong he seems, lives without invisible fears. The fear of judgment, the fear of betrayal, the fear of showing weakness. This question isn't just about making him think of safety, it's about making him paint a picture of someone who can calm those fears. And when you're sharp enough to truly listen, you'll know exactly what you need to become. This isn't a question you ask expecting an immediate answer. Men don't easily admit they need safety. But once they start speaking, that's when you know you're reaching deeper than anyone else ever has. You stop being just another woman in the crowd. You become a refuge in his mind. A man will say things that sound simple. Someone who listens, someone who won't betray him, someone who lets him be himself without having to hide. This isn't a checklist. It's a confession. It's a dream. It's the craving he's never dared to say out loud. And right in that moment, you have the chance to quietly become a reflection of everything he just revealed. You don't need to twist yourself into being the perfect girl. Understand this, men aren't looking for perfection. They're searching for the feeling of being understood without having to explain. That kind of rare emotional safety, once you create it, you'll never need to worry about keeping him again. This question also serves as a filter. A man who doesn't know what he needs to feel safe is a man who isn't ready for a real relationship. If he answers shallowly, if he only talks about looks or trivial things, you know you're wasting your time. Sometimes true strength isn't about winning someone over, it's about recognizing who's worth your heart. Ask the question and observe. A man who opens up about the kind of safety he longs for is a man who's just opened the door to his soul. And once you walk through it, no one else can take your place. Question 4. Have you ever wished you could go back and change something in love? This is a high-impact question if you know how to use it right. When you ask a man, have you ever wished for a second chance in love? You're not just stirring up beautiful memories, you're cutting straight into the lingering regrets buried deep inside him. And regret, when touched carefully, is often stronger than hope. Every man, whether successful or broken, carries a story left unfinished, words left unsaid, a wrong decision, a moment he wishes he could do over. When you invite him to open that door, you're giving him a chance to show you the softest parts of himself, the parts the outside world forces him to hide. And when he speaks, you're not just hearing a story, you're witnessing the scars that almost no one else has ever seen. If he starts to share, don't interrupt, don't rush to comfort, don't try to fix him. This is not the time to be the repair woman. Just listen, with your eyes, with your presence. Because when a man feels safe enough to show you his regrets, he's unconsciously tying you to the deepest parts of his emotional life. The parts where he once lost, where he once hurt, and where he still quietly hopes someone will finally stay. Don't fear the sadness. Don't rush to turn the story into something cheerful. It's sadness that builds the real depth in a soul. A woman who can sit with a man's sadness without trying to erase it is a woman who holds the kind of power that keeps a man's heart anchored for life. And don't forget, the regrets he shares will reveal something crucial. They'll show you what he's truly seeking moving forward. People only regret what they truly crave. If he regrets not being honest, you know he longs for truth. If he regrets not fighting harder, you understand how deeply he values loyalty. One question, one moment, can open an entire world. And when you step into that world, you're no longer just a woman he knows. You become the woman he's terrified of losing. Question 5. Do you believe a single glance can change your whole life? This isn't just a question, it's a sweet challenge. A door cracked open for the wild, undefined emotions inside every man. When you ask this, you're quietly suggesting that maybe, right here, right now, in this very conversation, something extraordinary could be happening. People like to believe they control their lives with logic and plans, but deep inside, everyone craves those unexpected moments, the encounters that change everything without warning. This question strikes straight at that longing. When you ask, you force him to stop and wonder, maybe I'm standing at a crossroads and don't even realize it? If he says yes, hold his gaze a little longer than usual. Don't speak, don't break the silence. A glance, when used at the right moment, holds 1,000 times more power than words. Let him feel the shift slowly creeping into his emotions. If he says no, don't be discouraged. Men who have been hurt, men who have failed, often build thick walls of doubt. Even when their mouths say no, their hearts are quietly asking, could this time be different? You don't need to argue or convince. Patience is your weapon. Your steady presence, your calm gaze, will speak louder than anything else. A single glance can start a new story or end a lifetime of loneliness. If you're strong enough to ask this question and sensitive enough to embrace the silence that follows, you'll plant a seed in his mind, a seed that will quietly grow every time he remembers that moment. Never underestimate the power of a glance. The world has changed countless times simply because two people dared to lock eyes and refused to look away. Question 6. If you had one shot at love, would you choose passion or peace? This isn't just a question about love. It's a test that strips a man down to his core. When you ask, you're forcing him to face what he truly craves, an explosive passion or a steady, enduring bond. And no matter what he answers, his response will be soaked in old wounds, unfulfilled dreams, and the silent fears he's never admitted to anyone. Don't toss this question out casually. Ask it with your eyes, as if you truly want to know, as if you hold both possibilities in your hands. You don't need to adjust yourself to match his answer. You don't need to perform. Just listen. Because how he hesitates before he speaks, how he chooses his words, will tell you exactly what kind of man he is. One who's ready to burn for love, or one who's too afraid and clings to safety. If he chooses passion, he might be the kind who throws himself into love with reckless abandon. Men like that can make you feel alive, but they can also tear you apart if they don't know when to stop. If he chooses peace, he's likely a man who's been through enough wreckage, enough heartbreak, that all he longs for now is a solid harbor. Men like that carry old scars, but they also know how to love with a loyalty deeper than most. Either way, you're not searching for a right or wrong answer. What you're seeking is honesty. A man willing to be honest with his own emotions in front of you is a man who has the potential to love you with his soul, not just out of habit or duty. This question doesn't just open a conversation, it opens a choice. And sometimes, right in the middle of answering you, a man will find himself wondering, have I just met the woman I'm willing to love the way I've always dreamed? One shot, one question, one chance to change everything. There's a brutal truth most women never want to accept. You're not attractive just because you're pretty, smart, or successful. You're attractive when you make a man feel himself more clearly when he's around you. And the questions you've just learned aren't about finding answers. They're about creating moments where a man is forced to face himself. When you know how to ask the right questions at the right time, you no longer have to strain to impress anyone. You don't need to flash your achievements, you don't need to prove your worth. You simply sit there, calm, steady, and let your questions ripple through his mind like stones dropped into still water. From that moment, you are no longer just another face in the crowd. You are the woman he remembers, the one he thinks about, the one he craves. The more emotions you awaken, the harder it becomes for a man to shake your image from his mind. No heavy makeup, no awkward tricks. True attraction comes from your ability to awaken the parts inside him he doesn't even know exist. And only women who understand the art of emotional communication can do that. Asking the right questions doesn't just help you touch a man's heart, it helps you filter out the ones who aren't worthy. A shallow man drained of emotions won't be able to answer deeply. A superficial one will expose himself quickly, and instead of wasting your time guessing, you'll see clearly who deserves your heart and who's just another breeze passing by. When you know how to ask, you hold the reins. You're no longer the one being chosen. You are the one doing the choosing. And from that moment, you're not just captivating a man, you're captivating the way he sees life, with you by his side. A woman who knows how to awaken emotions is an unstoppable force in any relationship. You can choose to stay a sweet woman, sitting there, quietly waiting for love to find you. And you'll wait. You'll watch the men you once hoped for disappear without explanation. You'll wonder, what am I missing? You're not missing anything. You're missing the power to take charge. You're missing the ability to strike straight into a man's heart before the world outside drowns him in endless choices. The questions you've just learned aren't flirting tactics. They are weapons, a subtle challenge thrown at any man. Do you have the courage to truly feel? And if he answers, he will never forget you. The world doesn't need another pretty face. It needs women who know how to ignite the fire in others. You have two choices. Continue living as you always have, surrendering your emotions to chance, or step up and become the woman no real man dares to lose. That choice is yours alone. But remember, if you can't control the emotions of others, you will inevitably be controlled by theirs. And in case you haven't noticed, this world has no room for those who wait. Thank you for being here. If you found this video helpful, subscribe, turn on notifications, and like this video. Don't forget to leave a comment so we can spread positivity together.